Welcome back to the Chevrolet Top 20 Countdown. I'm glad to have you with us. On the way, videos from Hunter Hayes and Lee Bryce. But right now, it's time to welcome the second shotgun rider of the show. Kira Isabella is about to join us. Here's her story. Kira Isabella has a decade of experience under her belt performing her brand of up-tempo country music across Canada, an impressive feat since she is just barely 19. She has been unstoppable since her first recital at the age of 7, when a fervent passion for belting out any song whatsoever led her to enter every singing competition within driving distance from her hometown of Ottawa. Her charming stage presence, bubbly personality, and natural talents led her to win nearly every competition she entered. Always looking for an expressive outlet, eventually the effervescent girl began dabbling in guitar and writing poetry and lyrics about love, life, and boys. She has since penned several tracks herself and performed live hundreds of times. An immersed student of her craft, Kira delved into a variety of music, but it was when she discovered the likes of powerhouse country vocalists Shania Twain and Faith Hill that she knew she was hooked on country. Continually perfecting her craft set Kira apart from the crowd, and she developed her stage presence skills anywhere she could. This hard work eventually led her to performing with the likes of Canadian country stars Jessie Farrell, Aaron Pritchett, and Gord Bamford. By 2009, the buzz surrounding Kira's powerful pipes and dynamic sound couldn't be ignored any longer, and she was signed to Sony Music Entertainment Canada. In 2011, Kira released her first single, Love Me Like That, and it was a runaway hit, crossing over into the Canadian Hot 100 chart, while also earning a 2012 Canadian Radio Music Award in the country category at Canadian Music Week. The debut single is a perfect example of Kira's desire to tell a story with music. It's a story of a girl in young love with all its innocence, and talking on the phone all night, being told you're beautiful and wanting that perfect boy. Kira continued her rise all through 2012, performing at various summer festivals around Canada, such as the Boots and Hearts Festival and the Big Valley Jamboree, and releasing another single, A Little More Work. That track quickly climbed up the charts with its catchy melody and infectious hooks, and was another hit for the young artist. Her hard work was rewarded in the fall of 2012 with a Canadian Country Music Award for Rising Star, a highlight for the young songstress, and a moment that solidified Kira's arrival on the country music scene. If the accolades and awards weren't enough, Kira was added as an opening act for select dates on Carrie Underwood's Blown Away tour, just in time for her debut album release, Love Me Like That, on October 2nd. Her latest single, A Little More Work, is currently climbing up the charts and becoming another popular hit for the talented young artist. There we go. You know her story? Well, you've probably been following her story as it's progressed, and now she's here in the flesh. Nice to see you, Kira.
Good to see you, too.
Yes, reigning 2012 CCMA Rising Star. Your star is continuing to rise. It's been quite a time for you. Tell me about the last, we'll get into kind of more specific, we'll get maybe more general, and when you were a kid and all that stuff. But what's been happening recently? Album came out beginning of October.
Yes, my debut album, Love Me Like That, came out. I'm very, very excited about it. I always say it's pretty much my baby. It's kind of my diary for the past couple of years.
Yeah.
And so I'm really excited about it. I just did a little radio tour out west, did the 3 Carrie dates.
Okay, so don't gloss over those. We talk about those. Yeah. Carrie dates, Carrie Underwood.
Yes, exactly.
Opened up for Carrie Underwood.
Yeah, so my life has been a pretty big whirlwind in the past year, but it's been very exciting.
The opening up for somebody like Carrie Underwood. Yes. Dates are usually sellouts. Lots of people in the arenas that you're playing. An arena.
It is an arena.
Size act.
Yes.
Not small venues, not a soft seater, none of that stuff. Were you ready for that kind of thing? I mean, we barely just met, and now you're playing arenas.
Yeah, I mean, as ready as you can be for something like that, I think.
You can't be ready, right? You just got to go do it.
Yeah, you know, because, of course, you have no idea what it's going to be like to sing in front of that many people. And, I mean, country audiences are incredible, and they're really there for the whole show. Yeah. So I was really surprised at the amount of people that were there for me. You know, I was the opening act. So it was pretty crazy to walk out there and see an almost full stadium. Right, because you, maybe as a music fan, you've gone to concerts before, and maybe if you're like, who's opening again, maybe, and maybe we'll go see them. But you're right, unlike any other genre, country folks are there for the entire show. They want to see the whole thing. They want to see the whole thing. Yeah. And were they attentive? Oh, yeah. And looking up at you, and could you see when they recognized your songs and stuff? It was so cool. Some of them were singing, you know, when I did Real Good Radio and Love Me Like That, and A Little More Work, they knew the words, and that was a pretty incredible feeling. Definitely brought a couple tears to my eyes the first few nights, for sure. You know, you're young, and I don't want to sound condescending, but that doesn't happen for everybody. Oh, my gosh, no. I am so blessed. I am the most blessed 19-year-old girl in the world, I think, definitely. What was the biggest thing that you took out of watching the way Carrie operates? Because I've interviewed Carrie a whole bunch of times over the years, from when she just after she won Idol to recently, and she handles things pretty kind of effortlessly, right? Oh, she does. Yeah. She's a superstar. Yeah. She really is. And I definitely have learned a lot from her. I've gotten to watch her show a couple times now, and I mean, her stage presence, you know, it's just so powerful, and I try to learn from her, and, you know, the way she interacts with her audience, and Yeah, she's pretty amazing.
Yeah, but not, I mean, you said she's a superstar. Just because you become a superstar doesn't mean you handle it really, really well or effortlessly, but she just kind of has a calm demeanor about the whole thing,
too. Yeah.
Because there's a big deal going on, this big show and sellout crowds and stuff, yet she just manages to do it. So were you kind of paying attention?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah?
Definitely. When I met her and everything, I mean, you're right, she's so calm and she was so sweet. She even said, you know, if there's anything I can do to make this better for you, a better experience, let me know.
You're like, no, this is pretty good.
That's what I said. I was like, no, everything is pretty amazing.
More dates with Carrie coming up, too, right?
Yes,
We'll talk about those in a second, because there's obviously a hometown connection to that. More with Kira in a sec. Right now, it's back to the chart. Florida Georgia Line occupy the number 7 position with their hit Cruise, and Lee Brice is in at number 6. Here's Lee and Hard to Love, number 6 this week on the Chevrolet Top 20 Countdown. Lee Brice, Hard to Love, number 6 on the Chevrolet Top 20. Kira Isabella in studio with us right now. Love Me Like That, the new record, came out the beginning of October. On tour with Carrie, a few dates there. You have 3 more dates, London, Toronto, and... Ottawa, Ontario, your hometown.
Yes.
You are going to play...
Scotiabank Place.
Scotiabank Place, home of the Senators, boo.
Yes.
You're going to play them? That's like, isn't that like...
It is, you know. I mean, I can't imagine what it's going to feel like. And I mean, so many of my friends already have tickets, my friends' parents. So it's going to be a pretty incredible thing, for sure.
You're probably used to playing in front of familiar faces, right? The amount of festivals and competitions and stuff that you've played at across Canada. You probably have, you know, wherever friends and family, if they can come to, they've been there, right?
No, my
so you're used to that.
Yeah.
But that is kind of a different scenario when you're opening for Carrie and you're there.
You know, it's so different. I mean, just the fact that I got to go out west and do these dates and come back now and, you know, with a couple under my belt and do the one in Ottawa, it's going to feel pretty amazing, for sure.
You know, every now and again, the CCMA gets things right. Rising Star, did it feel right for you? Were you like, this is incredible? What was that moment like? I want to get into it a little bit more later, but just a quick word.
It was so surreal. I honestly, genuinely didn't think I was going to win.
Yeah.
So I was pretty embarrassed to see what my face looked like on TV after.
Were you really?
Oh my gosh, my jaw hit the floor. It was so embarrassing. But no, it felt incredible. I was just worried walking up there. I was like, oh my gosh, I can't forget
I remember
anyone.
you won, and then you just got accosted by that old man right away. I remember.
Pushed my face in the camera a little bit.
Warren. Still to come on the big show, a brand new #1 video, the #1 video on our chart a decade ago, and more fun with Kira Isabella. The countdown will be right back. Welcome back to the Chevrolet Top 20 Countdown 2012 CCMA Rising Star. Kira Isabella is here riding shotgun today. Thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Your album, Love Me Like That, came out at the beginning of October.
Yes.
Tell me about putting the album together. The tracks in there, were you involved in a lot of aspects of putting them together?
Yeah, I actually co-wrote every song on Love Me Like That except for one.
Wow.
Yes,
wow.
yes. So it has been a very, very big learning experience for me. I got signed to Sony Music Canada when I was 16 years old, the summer before I went into 11th grade. And right when I got signed, I pretty much started traveling a lot, writing, going back and forth from Nashville and Atlanta. Jason Phelps, who I co-wrote Real Good Radio and Love Me Like That with, lives in Atlanta. So it's really been a learning experience for me. I mean, I didn't write a whole lot of songs before. I've always written poetry and stuff, but in the past 4 years, I've really realized that I can translate poems, you know, to songs, and I've been lucky enough to work with some pretty incredible writers. You
like having your hand in the song as well, though, not just going out there and listening to a bunch of submissions?
Yeah, of course, you know, and that's why this album also is so special to me, because it's my baby. And there's a track on there called My Diary. Yeah. I kind of tossed around the idea of calling the album My Diary, because that's kind of what it is, you know. It's pretty much been my life in a nutshell the past few years. So.
But nobody's really supposed to read your diary. So maybe it's better you called it Love Me Like That.
But it is my diary. So
it is your diary.
There you go, guys.
All right, a little bit more about that, more with Kira in a moment. Back to the chart right now. Miranda Lambert is in at #5 this week with Fastest Girl in Town. Jason Aldean is in at #4 with Take a Little Ride. And last week's #1 video, Luke Bryan's Kiss Tomorrow Goodbye, is in at #3, which brings us to #2, which brings us to Hunter Hayes. Here's Hunter and Wanted, #2 this week on the Chevrolet Top 20.